Bowl.
Aile. Blessed is the man that worketh not in the counsel of the heathen, nor sitteth in the seat that can't fall, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in this law I say, I did sunrise and sundown. Him I go there like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth fruit in the season. Him leaf never I go wither, and whatsoever him do shall prosper. Yay! The heathen them now, they saw them there like a chaff, with the wind driveth away. Therefore the heathen them never go turn upon the judgment of the sinner man them in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord God Jah loveth the way of the righteous and the way of the sinner man them. Always and always I go perish. And I give thanks and I says unto your name, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, Amasa Yahuda, Amasa Negus, Daniel Komaya Sataya, Yasoa Pio Aya. Krama we gruma be ati la e. Where twos and threes meet in the name of the Most High Jah. So Jaja there. If Jaja never watch upon your house, the watchman I go watch it in vain. Same way, if Jaja never build up your house, the builder I go build it in vain. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and them is safe. Stick up in and listen. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High Jah shall therein abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Almighty. How mausobolisa adanu wato ewo asikle afo. How mausobolisa akpe kaka. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Blakk RASTA. In every traditional African home there is a black pot. Each time this black pot sits on the fire, there is something truly sumptuous cooking. Ingredients of so many different colors, shapes, sizes, aromas, and flavors. All find themselves in the black pot, subjecting themselves to some amount of heating so they can produce food selflessly. Selfless because the food does not benefit them, neither the black pot nor the ingredients, but the food benefits us, the eaters. In fact, the black pot represents the continent of Africa, and the ingredients in the black pot represent us. We as a people must put aside all our differences. Some of us are tall, some are short, some are dark, some are light. Some have some creeds and faiths that we don't belong to. But do they really matter? Put aside all these differences, come to interplay right here on the continent of Africa and produce what is known as development, not food in this case. For our people, our continent, our land. Now we enjoy the shade of trees. A lot of them were planted by our ancestors. They thought about us. They knew they would not live long enough to enjoy the shade of these trees. But they thought about us and knew we would need that. And then they planted those. We like to plant the maize. We like to plant the so-called tomato. But right now, they will just give us one season crops. We will eat, sleep, die, go, and be forgotten. Let us plant the trees that will stand the test of time. I'm speaking in parables. Let's think about our generation. Think about the generations to come. Let us be generational thinkers, the Joshua generation. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. We are live on Pan-African TV. We are also live on Loud Silence TV. We are live on Ghana Web TV and also live on our own TV, Black Empire TV. Via the power of satellite, we are seen all over the continent of Africa and beyond. We are masters of Pan-Africanism on TV. And on this show, we don't normally criticize. But if we must criticize, we will do that on just one condition: to build and not to destroy. Yes, we are building the minds of our people. It is a show that talks about the mindset. If the mindset is right, every other thing will be righted. All the T's will be crossed and all the I's dotted. Think about it, my brother, my sister. The problem of Africa is not the problem of schools, hospitals, and even roads. It goes beyond that. It's the mindset. This is the Blakk pot, aka Kukushonumo, and we are feeding the proper mindset to the people. Now, the very first thing I would like to look at today is rolling on your screen. And what does it say? Nkrumah'S factory at the mercy of Chinese Americans. Nkrumah built so many factories. Nkrumah was a visionary. That man called Kwame Nkrumah was the only one president of Africa that turned his country, Ghana, into the gateway to the rest of Africa. At the time, no country in Africa gained its independence without passing through the gates of Ghana. Ghana became the very first country south of the Sahara to gain independence. In fact, when Nkrumah was shouting, independence now, his cohorts were all saying independence at the earliest possible time. Nkrumah said, no, independence now. In fact, if you read classified documents which have been declassified now, you realize that the British had their eyes on Kwame Nkrumah as the most poignant of all the activists. They knew that his acumen was so sharp and he was more than laser focused. So they targeted him. When he broke away from the so-called Big Six, it was time for him to unroll his wonderful visions to us. He built so many factories around. He built roads, and he also built the mindset of not only the Ghanaian, but the true African. Nkrumah became the pseudo-president of the whole of Africa. Nkrumah was so powerful, nothing happened in Africa without his consent. And when they wanted to get rid of Africa and recolonize Africa, they needed to take out Kwame Nkrumah. They lured him into going all the way out to talk peace in the Vietnam War. And on his way, they overthrew him in February 1966. But the interesting thing about Kwame Nkrumah, he said that the torch, the flame that he lit in Ghana, Africa, years after he, this great man, dead, buried, and gone, that flame would continue to blaze ablaze, blaze hotter, blaze, 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 blaze. And it is happening. Nkrumah built so many factories. In fact, Ghana became one of the most wonderful countries in the whole of Africa. In fact, when he built the Tema motorway, journalists from the BBC stood right on the motorway and said, what? This could be compared to the M1 in England. The only difference is that you stand here for several minutes before one car comes to pass. At a time when there weren't even many cars in this country, Nkrumah knew that a time would come when that road would be very necessary. He built it. Today is one of the most cherished roads on the whole continent of Africa, the Tema motorway. If I start breaking it down, how important it is, we will not end here. But that road links to so many different areas that are so important in our livelihoods. Economic, commercial, and so on and so forth. Kwame Nkrumah built factories. We remember the Juke factory. We remember the glass factory. We also remember some other wonderful factories he built. If we start mentioning them, the show will never end. But Nkrumah also built the glass factory at Abosso. Now, when you look at this wonderful building, Abosso, very beautiful factory he built to produce glass. Anything glass, drinking glass, bottles, and so on and so forth. It was supposed to produce 80% of all the glass needs of this country and beyond. It was a factory that was supposed to grow and go on and on and on to produce more for not only Ghana, but some other parts of Africa. That was a visionary. But when Nkrumah was overthrown, some of the factories came to a grinding halt, including the glass factory at Abosso. But today, it looks like it's even going to get worse. But they think that they are trying to find a way around it. This is Gihok. Nkrumah built it too. Nkrumah built Gihok. What was it for? Distilleries. The wonderful drinks that you want to have. Today, this man here is the boss, the CEO, the director of Gihok, Nkrumah'S Gihok. We have told the story of Gihok already. So today we don't want to sound like a broken record and go into it again. But we will get a sense of the whole idea from this. Watch this. It says, Gihok Distilleries takes over Abosso Glass Factory. The chief executive of Gihok Distilleries Limited, Maxwell Kofi Juma, has announced that his company has taken over the Abosso Glass Factory, which is currently struggling to operate. Come here. Watch this. The Abosso Glass Factory was once a vibrant company which manufactured and supplied bottles for the beverage industry in Ghana. However, the company has not been operating for some years now due to lack of machinery and capital. The factory, which is located in the Wassa West district of the Western region, constructed to produce more than 80% of the bottles used in packaging drinks in the country, is now gone totally berserk. Crazy. However, the plan has not been realized since the factory has ceased operations for many years. But Mr. Juma told Accra-based City FM that the move to take over Abosso Glass Factory by Gihok will cut the importation of bottles by 90%. He added that discussions were ongoing to get some investors to revamp the collapsed Abosso Glass Factory. And I need to take that again. It's very important. He added that discussions are ongoing to get some investors to revamp the collapsed Abosso Glass Factory. Who are these investors? Our raw materials are alcohol, bottles, and labels. Abosso will still belong to Ghana government, except that Gihok will help bring it back into operations. How? Mr. Juma further revealed that two investors from China and the USA, two investors have already shown interest in the deal. The investors from the USA are coming in this month. The Chinese came in last month. Whoever is able to finalize the processes first takes it, he added. Did you hear that? First come, first served. My brother, they are looking for investors to revamp the Kwame Nkrumah factory. Yet, we are in a country that says that it is doing one district, one factory. Instead of revamping those old factories Nkrumah built, no, they started building their own factories because they didn't want to give any credit to Kwame Nkrumah. They hate Kwame Nkrumah. Their fathers hated Kwame Nkrumah so much that they themselves have inherited that hatred. And even Nkrumah's ghost, they hate. But hear me now. Let's look at it as Africans, Ghanaians. They are bringing in the Americans, bringing in the Chinese. What is the deal? They are saying that the factories will still belong to Ghana. What is the deal? What percentage are they giving to them? Can we seal the deal? Can we see the deal? Now they are quick to tell you that they are going to revamp A, B, C, D, yet they are not in a hurry to give you details. It's sad. Chinese are coming in to do business with us. The Americans are coming to do business with us. Even when Kwame Nkrumah introduced the Ghana Airways into this country, he involved foreign partners who came in. And within that period that they agreed that after this period, the whole Ghana Airways will now belong to Ghana after we have paid you some amount of money. Is that the kind of deal we are getting for Abosu Glass Factory? Or is percentages? Ghana owes 10%, China owes 90% like we have with our gold. Right now, gold, we don't own anything. The last time we heard about the Ashanti gold mines, was it gold fields or Anglo Gold Ashanti? I'm now confused what they even refer to this, just like the so-called Flagstaff House. Jubilee House, Flagstaff House, they are doing politics of foolishness, politics of things that do not matter. My brother, my sister, one party comes into power and is Jubilee House. Another one comes, okay, we are going by the original name, Flagstaff House. Hey! Another party comes in and says, well, we don't keep flags there anymore. Therefore, we will call it the Jubilee House. Whilst people do not have hospitals to go to, good water to drink, you are there doing the politics of Jubilee House and Flagstaff House. Today is Abosu Glass Factory. The Chinese are coming in. The Americans are coming in. Are they going to buy our heritage and take that away for good? This government has let all of us down. And I'm truly, truly sad. They are doing everything possible to erase the legacies that Nkrumah handed to us on a silver platter. They are doing everything humanly possible to wipe up the name of Kwame Nkrumah. I tell you what trick it is. Come here. They are mapping out all the achievements of Kwame Nkrumah, and they are trying to find a way of demeaning all of them. Today, look at the motorway. The motorway is the bumpiest motorway you can find on earth. When you are on it, it looks like you are having a roller coaster. It bumps as if you are on the way to hell. And they intentionally left it. Robbers have decided to take advantage of the bumpiness. And then they lay in siege, waiting for people who would ply that road and then rob them. The last time I heard, they said they were going to renovate some portions of it. Up till now, we are waiting for the Chinese to come and give us a loan to fix that. Listen, we have heard too many stories about how they are trying to sell out every little thing that Nkrumah did, so that when the future generations come, there will be nothing to point out and say, this is what Nkrumah did, oh, this is what Nkrumah did, oh. They are forcing their fathers, who were nothing but villains, a bunch of non-patriots, into the good books of history of this country. But the discerning people of this country have rejected their fathers right from the start. The president came into power and he built a whole statue of his father. And he went to put it in front of the Togo embassy. In fact, little children pass there and they think that it is the statue of a dwarf that they caught from the bush. The other day I was passing there. 2 school children were passing by. And I stopped and I asked them, whose statue is this? You know what they said? Say, Motia. What is Motia? Motia, a dwarf. I asked them, are you scared of it? They started running away. The president is doing everything possible to put his hometown and his lineage, force that into the history of this country by erasing what Kwame Nkrumah did. Today as we talk, the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum has closed down. They say they are renovating it. Go and see. There are goats and sheep that are there bleating and making love. If you have never seen goats and sheep make love, if you have never seen tortoises make love, go to the Nkrumah Mausoleum. A once very powerful place that had tourists trooping in to weep and also to share in the power of Kwame Nkrumah. They've closed it down. They said they are going to renovate it. We don't know if it's an ambush to steal the corpse of Kwame Nkrumah and Fatia and take it away. How can you disrespect the mausoleum of such a great man? His remains are still there. The remains of his wife, Fatia Risk Nkrumah, still there. Then you close the place and the whole back there is open. Goats and sheep can all come in there and do whatever they want to do. Right now, those in the area, those who want to have quickie, that is where they have their quickie. Art center area there. Go there in the night and see boys and girls who sneak into the mausoleum to have quickies. Why? The next thing is Aboso Glass Factory. They haven't found any investor, Chinese. No investor, American. How many well-meaning Nkrumah'S would have loved to salvage this Aboso Glass Factory, all in the name of Nkrumah? I can swear, my brother, my sister, thou shalt not swear, but I can swear that the spirit of Kwame Nkrumah is not happy with this government. If these people come out and say, oh, Nkrumah's factories are all dying out, people around the diaspora who want to come and salvage some of these, please come. Hey, we'll be inundated with black conscious investors. But this government cannot think. Common sense is never part of the middle name of this government. I'm going to say it again. Hi! A lot of the people who come into this country as tourists and repatriates, they don't even know the difference between tourists and repatriates. I won't explain it. A lot of the people who come into this country in the name of tourism and repatriation, they enter here because of Kwame Nkrumah. I can dare say over 90%. So if we announce to the whole world that there's a certain thing called the year of return, and we see people coming into this country, in fact, their main aim is that they're coming to reconnect with the ancestral spirit, using Kwame Nkrumah as the guide. True? They are not coming here because of Akwanje. They are not coming here because of the dwarfish Edward Akufo-Addo. They are not coming here because of the giantly J.B. Dankwa. Treacherous J.B. Dankwa. They are not coming here because of the so-called big trash. They are coming here because of proper history, proper ancestry, not a joke political jingoism. If we made the announcement that we had a year of return and people trooped into this country and were so paragonized in our minds, my brother, my sister, we were so localized in our thinking that all we wanted was what? Money. We made 7 trillion with their arrival. We made 7 zillion with their arrival. And we are not looking at what we have given to the people in return. It's sad. I'm going to close on this. Hear me. The day that the government will come out and announce, oh, Kwame Nkrumah has a lot of legacies in this country. We want to preserve those. We want well-meaning Pan-African investors to come on board. Wallahi Allah. Wallahi. Kujinache wallahi fa. Kujinache wallahi fa. Look, we'll be inundated with investors. We don't need the Chinese. We don't need the Americans. We don't need the British. Pan-African investors will inundate this country. But because of the mediocre, join this thinking of this dirty government in power, they are looking towards selling all these legacies. May the fire of the Almighty come on them. They are wicked. They are very wicked. The Nigerian will say they are wicked. What are we talking about? My brother, my sister, watch it. It says what? Nkrumah'S factory at the mercy of Chinese Americans. Have we dealt with it well? Have we dealt with it well? At the end of the day, the same way they said they were looking for investors for our gold mines. Remember the dirty Ejapa deal. Kai, these guys are satanic. Today, Anglo Gold Ashanti. We don't have Capre. The land that used to be called the Gold Coast. Today, our biggest gold field. We don't own anything. Everything has been taken by so-called investors who are foreigners. They want to do that to Kwame Nkrumah's legacies. We don't need this lip service. Dash it away. Next thing I would like to look at is rolling on your screen. Watch it. Hey. Hey. It says what? Enough of the fake promises. Who is this man? He's called Honorable Nitiwul. I've met him before. He's a very cool-headed man. But to let you understand a little bit about this man, this was the man picked up, selected to take care of the defense of this country. So when we are talking about defense of Ghana, this is the man in charge. He's from the northern region of Ghana. I respect him a lot. He's a young man. He has a lot of years ahead of him. This was the same guy who said that the president needed a new aeroplane. Hey, Ghana, we have gone through hell. The president said that the plane that we had in this country, the plane, presidential plane, was not good enough for this dirty president in power. So he went out, taking the taxpayers' money to rent another plane. And when we asked why it was not good, this man here, Minister of Defense, you know what he said? The president needed a plane big enough for him to stretch his legs properly and rest. This man with the short legs like those of a dwarf needs a plane that has enough space for him to stretch those short legs, and at the same time for him to take his bath whilst he's in the air. And true to his words, when the president went out chartering planes, we saw the kind of exquisite lifestyle the president wanted to have. When people get so old, they behave like infants. The president has reached there. Ghanaians remember this man. Forget all his hard work for one reason. That he was the one the president used to announce to the whole country that the president needed a bigger plane so he could have his bath in the air. Number two, he needed more space for his long legs. And the taxpayer was paying for all this. Today they are running to the IMF looking for money, forgetting that some of these foolish decisions that they took, running around and taking money like idiots with no brains, borrowing and coming to organize Kenke parties, Dokunu parties, Kwame Kenkena party, to celebrate the loans that they went out to borrow. Oh, Jesus. Somebody won't understand. My brother, my country, the country that I love, left this country, left all the gold, the diamond, all the other things, and went out to beg gays and lesbians, gay and lesbian advocates that they hate so much in this country. But they don't hate their money. Or say, but them ni the animawa umpe ni sika dia upe. The accounts have a saying that when a madman gives you his food, you will reject it. But when he gives you his money, money has no color, money has no sickness. That one you quickly take. You hate gays and lesbians. You go there, collect loans, saddle this beautiful nation. And when you arrive, you will organize parties to celebrate the loans that you are saddling this country with. What a country. That's Nitiwo. His people are angry with him. I told you already he's from the north, right? Come here! Watch this from Ghana Web. We've been patient enough. Bimbilla MPP youth chase Nitiwo over failed campaign promise. Hey! The word is chase. They are chasing the defense minister, the prophet, the messenger of Skybath, Nitiwo. We have been patient enough, Bimbilla MP. Bimbilla NPP, you chase Nitiwo over failed campaign promises. Some angry youths of the ruling NPP, New Patriotic Party, have lashed out at the member of parliament for Bimbilla MP. Dominic Nitiwo for failing to fulfill a number of campaign promises he made to the people. The aggrieved youth say they are fed up with the MP's failure to deliver on his campaign promises. They cited the MP's failure to complete the construction of the dining hall for the Bimbilla Senior High School, Bimbisek, and the Bimbilla Community Center are some of the key campaign pledges Mr. Nitiwo has failed to fulfill. The MP, according to the NPP group, had promised to construct an ultra-modern community center for Bimbilla during the 2020 electioneering campaign season, causing the demolition of the old structure. He's behaving like his boss, Nanado. He went to the people of La, destroyed the whole hospital, the clinic there, the general hospital, and said he was going to build one. Today, when you go there, it's goats and sheep that are there giving each other doggy style. It's serious. The group claims Mr. Nitiwo, who doubles as the defense minister, had promised that the project will be completed in 6 months. A promise they say he has reneged on. Even though the project is about 50% complete, the NPP group says work has stalled for several months. On the Bimbisek dining hall, the NPP youth who say they are disappointed with their MP added that Mr. Nitiwo will also fail to complete the project, even though construction work started in 2013. He said this has compelled students to always eat in the open. Dash it away. They are full of promises. That's why I don't trust politicians. That's why I don't trust politicians. You will not see me follow politicians. They are full of lies. To win power, they will promise you heaven and earth. Well, I will encourage the MPP youth there to demand it from the MP. Demand it. Or else he will take you for fool. Not only him, the president. The lying president. I never knew an old man could lie until the president became president. In fact, he is the father of lies. 88 hospitals. He pushed in upon Nkrumah. Upon Nkrumah came and spoke grammar into our ears. The probability of the ingogability of the Nkrumah'S will be parabolized into basises. And then we had to look for a dictionary. Before we returned, he had finished and left. Where we all call grammar. Upon Nkrumah left. And when we started demanding from upon Nkrumah, you cannot let these old guys use you like that. You have a lot of life ahead of you. He pulled back. And I hear now they want to replace him. Reshuffling. It's better to be reshuffled and have your name impact than to follow this gerontocrat and mash up your own political career. Upon Nkrumah is a wise guy. My brother, they push upon Nkrumah to tell us that, oh, the 88 hospitals have now chameleoned into what? 111 hospitals. The fools that we are. Somebody promises you 88, He couldn't deliver. Now he says he has come to promise you 111 of the 88 that he couldn't deliver. Up till now, we are here crying. And he turns back to say he wants to build a cathedral. So this is a government of failed promises and lies. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. When we return, we have many more such things to talk about. But Nitiwul, I know that you inherited the DNA of Nana Akufo-Addo. You have been supporting him and defending him with his flying and bathing in the skies. All this while, common dining hall, you couldn't provide. The people in your community are eating outside in the open. When birds are flying by, they defecate into their food, they eat. And then the droppings of the birds sound like Maggie Cube. They taste like Maggie Cube, so they like it. Jesus. Why do you treat the people like that? Hey! If you cannot keep the promise, don't make it. Hey! Wayo! This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kuku Shonum, where we speak truth to power. And here we don't talk politics. We talk patriotism. Next thing, watch it, is dropping like hot coals. Debt exchange, necessary evil. Debt exchange, necessary evil. This is the guy saying it. He's under pressure. This is the cousin of the president. In the first tenure of the president, these were the guys who really enjoyed the government. He put up a radio station, flamboyant studio, and so on and so forth. Today the heat is catching up on them. He's there shouting all over the place that, hey, debt exchange is a necessary evil. Can you see? Debt exchange program is a necessary evil. Come here. Hear me now. Roll the guns. A sympathizer of the ruling New Patriotic Party, NPP, has described the government's debt exchange program as a necessary evil. According to Mr. Ochredakun, even though the program would affect individual bondholders, it is a critical move which must be implemented by the current NPP administration. In a tweet on Sunday, he expressed his sympathies with bondholders who are going to suffer as a result of the proposed program. He, however, stressed that if the debt policy is not rolled out, it will plunge the entire economy into danger. Hence the need for it to be considered despite the harsh consequences. The debt exchange program is voluntary for individual bondholders, but a very necessary evil for our economy. Mr. Ochredakun wrote in his tweet. Hold on. I need you to see this. That's why I decided to circle it for you. Watch you. The debt exchange program is voluntary for individual bondholders, but a very necessary evil for our country. Where is it voluntary? Whether we like it or not, they are forcing it on us. So where is the voluntariness? I don't get it. Am I reading Greek? Roll the guns. His success is critical to restoring macroeconomic stability, securing an IMF program. It hits those of us holding bonds very hard. A straight no to it is no solution. The NPP stalwart added. Having touched on the relevance of the program, he therefore called on all bondholders to rally behind government in the implementation of the policy. Dash it away. Shove it off. Hear me. Listen. Those of us who are laymen, let's try to understand what this big grammar is. They are talking about bondholders. Who are bondholders? What is the so-called debt exchange? Listen, when the government needs money, sometimes this government would have to go out and borrow from the citizens. Every country does that. How is the government able to borrow from the citizens? Through bonds. Through bonds. Treasury bills, and so on and so forth. How does government make money at all, apart from the selling of mineral resources and so on and so forth? Taxes, one of those. And of course, bonds, treasury bills, and the rest. Now, when you hold a government bond, it means you have given your money to the government. And government says, okay, because you have given me your money, every month I'll give you 10% of what money you have given me. 2%, 20%. That's what it is. So every month, just like NAM1 was doing, you will go there and take your money. You will go there and take your money. Today, government says, we are hot, we can't pay. And the people said, oh, you can't pay? Okay, no problem. Give us back our money. The one that we brought to you, government says, tofiakwa. Even that money that we call the principal, you are not getting it. They are rolling out a certain plan where the money that you have given to government, you can't get it until after 3 years or 4 years. So if you have given the government 10,000, a retired soldier, and every month you get something small out of your bonds, now government says you are not going to get anything until after a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, depending on what kind of bond you have. And to make it worse, if the old soldier says that, well, I cannot feed myself, I need back my 10,000 that I gave you. No. Remember, Data Bank had started a bank. It's not a government bond, a bank. The bank had started giving people haircuts, unprofessional haircuts. Top your Joe. A boy. Back bush. Some people, in fact, the aboy was even better. As for a boy, it's just one line in your hair. The back bush, at least you have some bush at your back. Now they are getting Sakura. Sakura, konse, hamani, gari na wache na tose. Sakura, totally, zero. From top your jaw to a boy, to back bush, now is Sakura tose. Why? Hey, do you know what that means? Come here. Look, somebody has gone to work in England. Somebody has been working in Japan. Somebody has been working in China. All these years, he has broken his legs. Now he has gotten his money, compensation and everything to come home and die quietly. He doesn't want to go to NAM1. Neither does he believe in NAM2. As for NAM4 and NAM5, lie. He takes it to government. Hey, government dear, we can trust the government. And he gives all his earnings from the broken legs and limbs to the government. Every month, he will hold his walking stick and go there. They'll give him something small. He will go home from his bonds. Today, they are saying they are giving him Sakura. Okay, If you're not going to give me anything again, and please, the money that I brought, can you please give it to me? What? How is this person going to leave? How is this person going to be able to leave? I feel really sad. A lot of them are going to hang themselves. A lot of them are going to take poison and die. Nam one is better than Nana Akufo-Addo. Should I say it again? This was the same thing that happened to Nam one. And we all vilified Nam. Get me the photo of Nam one. This was what happened to Nam one. Nam one came, built his thing, made Ghanaians come there, deposit monies, whatever. Semantics, if you want, you can say gold coins, but money. He said gold coins. When you take the gold coins, he will turn around and say, let me market it for you. And when you give him back the gold coins, it's the same as money. You come back every month and take money. This government all of a sudden felt that, led by Nana Akufo-Addo and what's the other one? Kenoforiata. That this man was collapsing the banks. Everybody was taking their money and going to Nam one. They should stop him. That was when they mopped up all the banks, collapsed a lot of the banks, and quickly they asked everybody to go to this guy called Nam one and collect their money, or else this guy was about to run out of the country. He didn't have the right papers to do that kind of business. And they descended on him. Everybody, people who were even in America and had sent their money, they descended from America, came knocking at this man's door. Hey! Nam one, his business collapsed to the ground. They didn't care about the people he employed. They didn't care how much energy he put in there. Collapsed his business. His kind of business is synonymous with what this government is doing. Today, there's not even a panic withdrawal. People are coming to do for their own monies that they gave to you. You can't give them. What's the difference between you and Nam one? Nam one is better than you. Nam one is better than Nana Akufo-Addo and Kenoforiata combined. And this is logic, common sense. Until the government came down and said, hey, go after Nam one and get your money, or he's a thief, or he's a criminal. Everything was going smooth. Panic withdrawals chased Nam one out of the system. They arrested him and locked him up in Dubai. And when they brought him here, they took him to the BNI office and locked him up like a common rat. Collapsed Nam one. I've talked about this issue over and over. Today, the government is in the same predicament like Nam one. Hey, can you see the similarities? People are going for their money at Data Bank. You are giving them back bush. Right now, the government, led by Nana Akufo-Addo, is giving them Sakora Tonse. Nothing. Kwali. The government will say kwali. That's our way, Nam one. If you have Nana Akufo-Addo, put him there. If you don't have him too, Kai. The chickens are coming home to roost. You are a wicked man, you this man. You see, when you were collapsing businesses, you turned yourselves into unqualified, unprofessional vandals. With all respect to my vandal brethren at the University of Ghana, Legon, you are unprofessional vandals. You and Kenoforiata and the rest. Today, you see, you are. The Aigbe man will say, woo! When we return, dash him off. When we return, we'll talk more. Hey!
Go on, Skipper George.
Blackpot. Cuckoo show them.
Patriotism, not politics. That's what we do here. It's known as the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Blakk Rasta. Last item for the day. Hey, there are some names who bossa dinner just a giant. There are some names. When you mention those names, you have to slaughter an animal. One of those names is the one I'm about to mention. Hey! Boba baba rotsa para tata pap santa bada ye aye akatum aye atamre. Do you have Duncan Mills there? Archbishop Duncan Mills speaking in tongues. If you can find him, bring my papa. Let him blow tongues before we can talk about this issue. I like his tongues. Atamre, akatum, aye, akatum, aye. When I go to church, there's one guy, ask for him, if I try to imitate him, I know that my next place will be the mortuary. His head is up like that. My brother, my sister, this is a well-respected man. Lighthouse International. You know the importance of the lighthouse. When there's doomsday, lighthouse will come and shine light. This man is called Dag Heward Mills. He studied medicine. He ran out of the medical school to take the Bible. And he has one of the biggest churches in the world. When the president was building his demonic cathedral, little did they know that it was a demon that had gone into the belly of the president and caused him to try and use the people's money to build this dirty cathedral. Please, don't look at this building and say, oh, it's beautiful, it's nice. This is just an artist impression. They destroyed ambassadors and diplomats' houses, judges' houses, Nkrumah'S legacies, and they said they were going to build this. Up till now, the foundation looks like a Galamsey site. See what happened next. They went for this respected man of God called Dag Heward Mills. They brought Otabil, the man who is always in an African bubu. He also joined them. Then all of a sudden they realized that, especially this man, he realized that, there was some kukur. And if he tried to pass here, keke. As for Otabil, he said, already Capital Bank. And he ran out quietly and said, I've resigned. I can't be part of this demonic thing. This man started hearing voices. In the right ear, he was hearing keke. What was he hearing? National Cathedral. We can't continue paying 40K to contractors without money for construction. Did you see that? National Cathedral. We can't continue paying $40,000 to contractors without money for construction. Does it make sense? Roll the guns, let's see it, man. What does it say? Hear this. It says what? The founder of the Lighthouse Chapel International, Bishop Dag Heward Mills, has berated the continuous paying of $40,000, American dollars, monthly to the contractors of the National Cathedral project. In his estimation, this is untenable, especially at the time the country is going through an economic turmoil and there is no assured funds for the construction of the cathedral. Bishop Dag Heward said, the construction, which is in the 6th year, ought to have a new approach to guarantee its completion, continuing to pay contractors $40,000 American monthly as we wait to procure a huge loan. Oh my God. Sounds so dicey to me. I do believe that almost 6 years down the line, we need to look at a different approach to achieve our goal of building God's house in Ghana. The venerable preacher said in his resignation letter as a member of the board of trustees. The Bible scholar also disclosed some of the fundraising methods have rather incurred losses. Oh, Jesus. You go to raise funds and you are spending like $1 million to raise funds, and then you go there and then you rather get 100,000. It means you have lost 90% of your investment. True? He thus advised a new method that would yield the much needed funds to continue the construction of the project. Dash it away. The bishop has run out. The heat is too much. Earlier, Ablakwa, Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, brought out an expose where some huge amount of money was paid to some JNS talent whatever, owned by a pastor, Reverend Kusi Boate. Exposed this whole thing. In fact, and it even had some criminal underpinnings. The house of God is full of thieves. So Dag Heward says, no, please. I don't want to be counted as one of those thieves. 20 years down the line, my children and some people from the next generation will look at me and say, this was a half-caste thief. There's another headline. Bring it up. It says, National Cathedral. I was sidelined in financial decisions. Others, although I was a trustee. Did you see that? Bring the headline again. National Cathedral. I was sidelined in financial decision. Others, although I was a trustee. Dag Heward. And look at the date. This thing was published 17th, only yesterday. The controversies surrounding the National Cathedral project do not seem to be ending anytime soon. This is because more allegations are being made against the handlers of the project. The latest person to add to these issues is the founder and presiding bishop of the Lighthouse Group of Churches, Dag Heward. According to the respected preacher, even though he was a trustee and attended all meetings until his resignation, he was not involved nor privy to discussions on the financial and technical issues concerning the project. Dash. Oh, you are. Enti aseda yonya menidia. Aseda yonya menidia. Oh, aseda yonya menidia. Mento menka adawa ya mame. Mo adawa ya mame. Mo adawa ya mame. Mo adawa ya mame. Mento menka adawa ya mame. You know why I'm happy? You know when Jesus Christ went into the synagogue, he went with Ponkokote and shipped all those thieves out of it. Ablakwa alone, with a shiny, half-cast bald head, has gone in there with Ponkokote, Koboko. He's shipping them out of it one after the other. All the thieves. Some of them had good minds for this cathedral. But there's one woman who still remains adamant. Joyce Aye. Your time is coming. You will see. Obana, Onu. You will see it will unroll in front of your face. The rot will be stinking bad that you have to hold your nose. Oh gosh, what is this? To God be the glory. They are in a hurry to close me. Mo, Adawaya, mame. Oh my God. My happiest moment is when this president fails to build this demonic cathedral. He's so insensitive. When we return tomorrow, we will talk some more. In the interim, hey! Wayo!